Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Quinton here, and welcome to tutorial number 1 in my JavaScript series. And in this video, I'm just going to introduce you guys to JavaScript. But before we do that, I actually just need to explain a few things that you guys are going to need before you can follow along with these tutorials. And the first thing you guys are going to need is at least a basic knowledge or a little bit of experience in HTML. Because if you guys don't know anything about HTML, you're going to be completely lost in these tutorials. So go ahead and check out my YouTube channel. There's going to be a link somewhere around the video, and I'll leave a link in the description below. And just go to my YouTube channel and you'll be able to see that I've got 47 videos. So there's tutorial number 47 videos on how to write a web page in HTML. So it starts right from the beginning all the way up to actually uploading your web page onto the server. So here's the first video. It's currently my trailer video, and then all the way up to the final video, tutorial number 47, which is just how to upload your video to a web host. So go ahead and watch those videos, and then you should be good to go for this series. But the next thing you're also going to need is just a text editor. Now, if you've followed along with these videos, then you should have this text editor on your computer. It's called Notepad++. That's what I use. That's what I recommend you guys use. I'll leave a link in the description below on where to download this, and then you guys can go ahead and get started. And the third thing we're going to need is we're actually going to need a good browser, preferably a browser that has an error console, which is this thing over here. If I click on Tools, Web Developer, Error Console, that is Mozilla Firefox's error console. And this thing is actually going to be our best friend when it comes to writing JavaScript, because if you ever have any errors, it'll show up in our error console over here. So make sure to download Firefox, and you'll be able to follow along and check for any JavaScript errors in your error console. So go ahead and download that. And then the next thing that I recommend you guys do is just go over to my forum. There's a link on my YouTube channel, and I'll also leave a link in the description below. Go to my YouTube channel, my forum, sorry, which is forum.programmerscreed.com. And you guys can log in and sign up and log in, and then just go ahead and post an introduction to yourself so we can all get to know you, and then maybe just follow along with these tutorials, and you can get the code from these tutorials in my forum. I'll post the code for every tutorial in the forum, and then what you can do from there is maybe just ask, if you have any questions, ask them in the forum, because you know that's what the forum is there for, guys. It's there to answer your questions. So yeah, basically sign up on the forum. That's just like the fourth thing you have to do. And now what we can do is just go ahead and continue explaining what JavaScript is. So if you're new to programming, you've probably heard of a programming language called Java, and now obviously you've heard of this programming language called JavaScript. Okay, these are two entirely different languages. Some people confuse them for the same programming language. They're not. They are two completely different programming languages, guys. I just had to make that clear. And then now let me just explain what JavaScript is. And that is, JavaScript is the most popular client-side scripting language at the moment. So by client-side scripting language, what I mean is that all of the code gets executed on the client's computer or the user's computer. So if you guys don't understand, let's go ahead and just check out this image. Okay, now this is basically how we use the internet every day. Okay, you'll go to your computer, you being the client. Okay, so this is the client's computer, and you'll try log on to a web page. Now, seeing as Twitter's in the picture, we might as well just use Twitter as an example. So you go to Twitter, what happens is your computer sends through a request to the server, and then the server sends a response back to your computer. So there are two different types of scripting languages. Okay, there's the client-side scripting language, which happens here on your computer, which is what JavaScript is. And then you've got server-side scripting languages, which happen here on the server, like PHP and that kind of thing. So obviously this tutorial series is on JavaScript, so we only really worrying about what happens here. And basically what we can do with JavaScript over here on the server, on the client, is we can use JavaScript to change the appearance of a web page after it has been loaded. Okay, you can't do that with a server-side scripting language, and you can't do that with a static HTML document. So if you've watched my HTML videos, then you'll know that every time you make a change, you have to go up there, click refresh, and then only the website changes, and you can't change it again after that. That's it. That's what's displayed. But if you're using JavaScript, you can have animations of like sliding images and that kind of stuff. So that's one thing that we use JavaScript for. And the next thing is we'll use JavaScript to turn our static web pages into actual applications such as calculators or even games. Okay, now for now we'll just focus on the basic JavaScript stuff. So that differs a lot from server-side programming or server-side scripting, because server-side scripting is where you'll actually connect to a database and have shopping carts and search engines and web-based mail programs and that kind of thing. So they have two completely different purposes, but they actually get used very often together. Okay, so you won't have only client-side scripting or only server-side scripting. You'll often use both of them together, and there's a technology called Ajax which actually uses them asynchronously, so JavaScript asynchronously with a server-side scripting language. And that is pretty much how Facebook and Twitter and all of those websites are actually run. So you need to learn both JavaScript and a server-side programming language. So now that you guys know what JavaScript is, let's take a look at including that into our web page. So I'm going to go over to Notepad++, and basically this is our template that we're going to be using for the rest of the tutorials. If you've watched my HTML videos, then you'll know exactly what all of this stuff means. The only difference is I'm using a shorter meta tag than I was in my HTML videos, just because it's less work and less to remember. So that's the only reason why I'm using that shorter one, and I should probably go ahead and close that off. Cool. And then I've just included this attribute here in my opening HTML tag, which says lang equals en. That just means that my website's written in English. Okay, so that's pretty much the document. And now what we can do is just include our script tags or JavaScript into our web page. Okay, so what we do is we open up a script tag, and obviously we have to close that again, so ending script. And now this means that we're using a scripting language. So we're telling the browser, okay, we're using a scripting language on our website. But what scripting language are we using? Well, we're using JavaScript. So let's go ahead and say type equals text/JavaScript. Okay. Now JavaScript, because it is the most common client-side scripting language, you don't have to include this attribute, but it's probably better if you do, in case you're worried about older browsers and that kind of thing. So just go ahead and include that attribute just in case. And now what we can do is we'll just type in a basic statement, which is document.write. Sorry, I made a spelling mistake there. Document.write, and we'll say hello world. Okay, and I'm going to explain what this statement does maybe in the next video, but for now let's just write that and then test this in our browser. So run launch in Firefox, and we can probably close those tabs, and you can see what we've got here is we've got the words hello world printed out into our browser. Okay, and if we go back to Notepad++, you can see we don't have the words hello world put in our body over here, so it's actually grabbing the words from this instruction here, this statement called document.write hello world. So that's where it got that from, and I'm actually going to explain what this does in the next video because we're kind of short on time and this is quite a lot to explain. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to sign up on my forum, and don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like my videos, and I will see you guys in the next video.